Good evening, Land Golf Academy members and guests, and after watching the Lakers get destroyed tonight, I decided to take out my frustrations the best way I know how to by analyzing golf swings, in particular, amateur swings. These videos that we're going to see tonight were submitted to me via email, and if you wish to have your swing analyzed here, just go ahead and send it to me in the email in the description below. Excuse me, I'm still kind of traumatized by the Lakers, and title it, Go Lakers. At least it will make me feel better. Please keep in mind, my suggestions could be biased as I don't know these people other than the videos they send. I am uncertain of any physical limitations, data history, their equipment, yada yada yada. And if you know what the yadas mean, we are in good company. First off, we have Kevin. Now, Kevin sent me one of his swings earlier this year, the one on the right, and the newest one on the left was sent recently. So let's take a look at some changes he has made based on some suggestions I had and how things are looking. So if we take a look at the older swing, so as he takes it back, I remember Kevin last time we were working on maintaining his spine angle. You can see kind of loses his spine angle, comes on up, kind of flips at it to try and save it, blocks everything right, but you can see he's completely up past impact, doesn't quite get his arms high enough to that secondary plane line. But let's take a look at what he has done now. And just for reference, we'll put a little back brace line there so we can see there's the start and there is impact, crashing into it and then coming on up. So let's take a look at that right away to see the body, is it retaining itself much better. Kevin, I'm telling you, I wish if the Lakers did this, we might be tied 1-1, but you know how that goes. So let's look at that back brace line. Good, pretty good. Look at that, coming on through. Look at that, still in your spine angle. Look at that release point. You've got a nice release point there. His arms are working up and down. Top plane line is reached with the arm position, so this is really good. Look at this finish position here. It's pretty close to where it intersects that spine angle. So really, really good here. What I can tell right away though is your arms get a little bit disconnected. I can see you are trying to make that nice one-piece turn right about here, so it's looking good. You can see that club head is pretty close to matching up your hands right about here. I hope you guys can see my mouse cursor. Spine angle is also matching your club face angle, so this is a beautiful one-piece takeaway. If we take a look at the old takeaway, we can see a little bit inside and then your arms would get kind of trapped below. So much better here. Your shoulder tilt is much more down, left shoulder down. This one's kind of leveling out here, which can cause some issues with your plane, and then you have to compensate with your hand path. And but once we get from here to the top position, if you can stop right there, so right about there, that should be golden for you, because from here to the top of your backswing, you see your arms kind of get pulled back. Now this is 3 or 4 frames of unnecessary motion, because you can see your body stop turning and now your hands are pulling back too far, and this will cause you to kind of be delayed. So you try and drop it in the slot here, but because you drop it in the slot, your hands are now 3 or 4 frames behind, and now you're starting to turn, so that right shoulder is making that rotation around your spine, and that's going to cause your path to be slightly outside of in, because your arms are playing catch up and they're trying to play catch up and go back out. So this is going to cause a very steep motion. You can see your club is pointing a little bit too steep down here, and once it gets steep, it's hard to flatten it out. You try a little bit here, and from there to there it's okay, but look at that club face wide open because your hands have already flared open at the top, and then you have to get a little bit of this flipping action going on here, which you timed okay. You can see that release point a little bit high, slightly to the right, but it's pretty close there, Kevin. I think you're well on your way. Kudos to you for all the work that you put in. I know this it's not easy to do, specifically with somebody that is so new to the game like you are. Maybe your posture, maybe just fix it up a little bit here, so feet just slightly more underneath that hip joint. So there's your right hip joint. Try and pull that heel so it's completely under your right hip joint. That might help you kind of drive your legs more into that action. But other than that, Kevin, kudos. And I hope it is Kevin. I hope I'm not calling you Kevin all this time and your name's really like Larry, because that would be pretty embarrassing. And I don't think that's the same range. If it is, they must have planted some really quick growing trees. So I hope that helps you, Kevin. Let's see who is next. All right, next up we have Colin. Colin, thank you for sending this to me, and let's take a guess where you're from. I'm gonna just throw it out there and say Georgia, because I see that Augusta hat and those look like those nice Georgian trees. I'm not quite sure what you call them, but let's take a look at the swing. Let's go on your left side here with our down the line view. I see hands going a little slightly higher, but they work their way back around, which is okay. Club face is doing pretty good down that plane line. slight loss of posture, no real hand motion going on there. So I'm wondering if this is a issue with ball position. Let's take a look. Right side. Okay, kind of a sway to the right side, and you've got yourself a big turn at the top, maybe a little bit too much, and then you stay back. Okay, so you can see how I drew this one line here because I couldn't see where your golf ball was, so I'm just assuming that's your golf ball unless your golf ball's disappearing act and it's actually there, but I believe it's here. Now, the one issue with this, Colin, is you'll see that when you have this shoulder tilt down, which we try to do with most of our clubs because our right hand is lower, so that causes that shoulder tilt down. It's going to be different for every driver, mid-iron, short iron. I assume this is a mid-iron or short iron. It's kind of hard to tell, but that ball position is way too far to the back. So if you look at where your spine is and it goes right through your hands, that ball position should be about there, slightly inside of your left, based on that tilting. Now, this could change just depending on your setup, but what I would suggest right away is move that golf ball closer to your center, maybe slightly in front of center, just to help this. If you want to forward press a little bit, that's okay, but if you take a look at what your ball position is in relation to your body, it's inside your right side of your head. It's almost on that right shoulder. Now, what you'll see your body tries to do from this front view is it knows that it has to get the weight behind the ball, so it's already shifting out to the right side. And look at your right hip. It's going to go over that right brace line. Right now, when this happens, you have to drive back into it, but because that ball's back there, you can't really drive back into it, so you're kind of just stuck on that right side. You can see that right head is right where that ball is, so you're trying to find that ball position where it should be. So if you move that ball to where it is, to where it should be over here, you can just stay more centered, so you don't have to get this lateral motion back and through. So I'm going to draw that where that should be, that little short green line. So as you take this club back, shifting the right to the right side to find that ball position, you have this overextension here. You can see that lower hip that lower back kind of arching underneath you. Be careful with that. That's a lower back injury ready to happen. So kind of ease it up. You don't need that much shoulder turn. If you have reduced that shoulder turn by 10 or 15 degrees, you'll still hit it just as far. You just need to move that ball position back to where it was. And I think you're trying to add this shoulder turn because that ball position is so far back, you had to get deeper to be able to hit it. So this will all kind of work itself out with just a simple ball position change. Trying to drive into it, but you can see from here to here, your head doesn't move. And it shouldn't because it's found in the middle of the golf ball. But look how much it moved back here. So there's just a little, miscommunication with where the ball position should be. Ball position is a major thing. So it's alignment, grip, setup, and then ball position. Ball position is the one that can kill us quicker because we don't know it's veering off right or left, and your body's always trying to find that center of the ball position. So take care of that right away. Don't change much in your swing. Change your basics. Okay, so first of all, we have to find out if you're lining up correctly. I'm not sure where you're lining up to, so throw that out the window. What I can tell you with your setup looks okay other than the ball position. Feet are definitely underneath the hips. We can see on this side, take the back of the heel underneath the hips. We see that arching of the lower back. I'd like to see it a little bit straighter so you don't have that lower back injury. But other than that, posture looks pretty good. You can see you have enough width, maybe a little bit too far. So if you want to stand a slight bit closer, let those hands hang down a little bit more natural so they're not reaching out as much. Now, don't do anything in extreme, just adjust these by a few inches. But if you can take a look here, as you take that club back, hands are getting a little bit disconnected, so you want to pull those hands a little bit closer to your body as you turn because you're kind of pulling up. But I assume that this also stems back to your ball position as well. If that ball position is too far back, you're so busy trying to get back there that's going to make your arms kind of go up and higher away while you're getting back there. So instead of that turn like we want in initial right away, you're shifting and then you're turning. So more turn will get those hands to go a little bit lower, so then you don't have this awkward top position, because once those hands get a little bit higher, that's also going to increase your tilt at the top of your swing. You can see here the tilt is just a little bit more than it needs to be. Hands are a little bit too high, but you reroute it coming back down through, so your swing is actually really solid for what you give it. I just think that ball position is playing a little part with you. Secondary, if you look at this left side of the screen here, is the loss of posture. So as you're driving through, you can already see you're getting closer to the golf ball, and as you strike the golf ball, you're kind of losing your posture slightly. Weight is going towards your toes. You can see your left toe spinning out, so the weight isn't really being distributed correctly. You see that back left heel spinning out, so you want it to be more planted, so you want to push your weight to the back left heel, so that'll help you stay more grounded while you have enough room to tilt under and compress the golf ball. So before you make any of those swing changes, just do me a favor, change the ball position right away and just stay more centered. Let the rest of the swing evolve. Most of this stuff is a cause and effect from that ball position. Cure the ball position, which is causing you a lot of issues, and then learn how to make that motion from that new ball position. So for the swing changes, let them evolve, kind of guide them a little bit in terms of your weight distribution. You can control that. Your ball position, you can control that. The rest of the stuff, just let it evolve into the new ball position and the new weight distribution. So make sure you change your GASP, grip alignment, set of posture, and then let your swing evolve under your guidance. Just don't think too much about your swing. I hope that helps you, and let me know if you're from Georgia. If not, then just say go Lakers, assuming you're a Laker fan, which I hope you are. Probably not. Let's see who's next. All right, next up we have Michael. Michael, you look very familiar. I feel like I've done one of these for you before in the past. If I haven't, forgive me, but if I have, welcome back. And if I guessed wrong last time, I'm probably going to guess wrong this time. Somewhere in San Francisco, I don't know why, but that foggy cloud is reminding me of San Francisco. Hopefully I'm right, but I'm probably wrong. So let's take a look at your motions here. Again, I put that on the right screen. I'm looking at your ball position here. That looks like a hybrid, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look. Move this back a little bit. Nope, that's an iron. My eyes are really bad. I just got glasses. I need to get them checked again. So let's take a look at the ball position slightly on the backside. We're going to start on the right side of the screen here. Slightly on the backside, but it's not too bad. A little forward press here. Let's take a look where your shoulders are, and let's draw a straight line with your spine is. So it's about a ball width behind, which, okay, that'll be fine. Just keep an eye on it though. If you start chunking him or blading him or getting real flippy at the impact, it's probably because your ball position too far back. You're trying to play catch up. If not, you really have to hold that release and tilt immensely underneath so you don't release the club, and that's something we don't want to do unless our body can do it. So let's take a look at the way back. You are pretty good with the lower body, just turning around that lower brace line. Pretty good. A little stack and tilty there, but let's take a look on the way down. Driving on the left side looks pretty good. Hands getting involved a little bit too soon, but not bad. And I think there, you're losing a little bit of your angle because that ball position's slightly back, so you have to activate them sooner so you can catch up. But you do pretty well. This is a really, really phenomenal position here. Not that many people can get there where their hands are out in front, and you can see this nice little extended triangle out in front of you. That is, excuse me, that is really solid. I wish I could do that. If I could do that, I wouldn't be doing these for a living. I might be on television, but maybe not. But let's take a look as you come on through again on that right brace line, which is great. So in terms from the front point of view, maybe your ball position a little bit off, but let's take a look from the down the line to see what we can see here. And we see, check your setup. Setup's okay. You look like you're a little bit stiff though with the arms, so just kind of relax the arms. You can see right arm is kind of hovering over the left. It's kind of hugging the left arm, and we can see that because I can see this left elbow and the left forearm. So maybe just kind of neutralize them, relax that right side a little bit so we can see only your trail arm, which is your right arm. But let's take a look on the way back. So yeah, okay, so because of that stiffer right arm, it's going to affect your path. So this should be a little bit more in, but this is a beautiful position here. So when you have a stiff right arm, it does affect your tilt. Some people increase the tilt, some people decrease the tilt. Just depends on what feels right for them. So let's just take a look as we take that club back, and we see a loss of tilt. So ideally, I'm going to take, it's going to be this green line, the smaller green line. That's where your shoulder should be based on your spine angle at the top. That's just truly rotating around your spine. And we can see you are raising that left shoulder. Now when you raise that left shoulder, you get a little flat, and you can see you're kind of stuck in between these two. I'd prefer to see that left arm higher. Don't lift the left arm, just tilt your shoulder down more, your left shoulder, which will pick up your left arm as a result. And not only that, but it will start your arms lower on the takeaway. And we can see this, your path is a little bit high, so it's right to left. If you're looking at it from a right-handed point of view, it's going high. you'd like it to be a little bit lower. So by tilting your left shoulder down, these hands will work lower and also stay more connected to your body, which will help you create power while you turn. So let's erase these lines so we don't want to get too confused. Too lazy to change the color. Okay, so we go to the top of the swing again. We can see your shoulders are very flat, and this will cause you to get kind of stuck as you turn. Club dips way below, and all of a sudden, you got to do something heroic to try and hit the golf club. And what do you try to do? We get some turn. So you do turn. That's great. So your turn doesn't stop. So if you can just stay in your posture and keep that motion, that's pretty solid. It's hard for you to kind of release the club. You get it done, though. I mean, you work your way around. You can see the right shoulder really trying to save you from here to here. It's like, oh, I got to really turn to help pull that club back, or else I'm just going to block these out all day long. So pretty quick here, pretty easy. Just change that posture. So excuse me, your setup, so your right arm's kind of relaxed. From there, feel like the left shoulder's going more down towards your right knee. Maintain that same turning that you have, but it's going to change the path of your hands, and that left shoulder tilt will help get your hands higher at the top of your swing, so it'll look more up in this region. And from there, just do what you're doing now. Just drop it and turn, because your swing is really, really good. Change that ball position, though. Trust me on this one. Move it 1 to 2 ball positions to your left side on all clubs, and give that a whirl, and also start changing your shoulder tilt. Don't change anything else, please. Hope that helped you. I'll try and get one more video for Sunday, but if not, forgive me. I'll be back next week. Hope that helps you. Stay strong, people. Good golf is around the corner for some of us. Fairways and greens.